What's going on, family? Demi Goddess with Evolve, coming at you guys with another video today. I hope everybody is feeling amazing out there, drinking your water, exercising, loving on you. Well, today, family, I want to talk about the unspoken rule, okay? In a lot of places in society today, a lot of groups, subgroups, family dynamics. It's this comply or DIE. Okay, comply or DIE. And I don't mean that in a literal sense, right? For the most part, we're not talking about literal DIE, but we are talking about character assassination. We are talking about being rejected from the group, ostracized, gossiped about, rumors spread about you to keep people away from you, to make people not like you. If you don't comply, it's the unspoken rule, family. If you don't comply with what this said person, this chosen person in the group, believes or says or has manufactured in their mind about this particular group, then if you challenge them in any way, and this can be even unspoken, it could be energetic. You can just show up a big, beautiful light. You're smiling, you're interacting with people, you're pleasant, and this person feels threatened by you, right? And in their mind, right, when you're dealing with these narcissistic type energies, in their mind, you're not supposed to come in and have that type of energy. You're supposed to shrink. You're supposed to make sure that you don't show up as this big energy. You know, you're supposed to come in this room and sit down, take a seat and be quiet. And I tell you if it's okay to make a sound or to connect with people, or I need to be able to control how people see you, if they like you or not. Because remember, with these narcissistic energies, family, you know, they need to be seen as the most powerful, the most beautiful, the most likable. Now, even if that's not the reality, because most times it's not, right? It's not the reality. It's their illusion. It's where they live. They live in a place of illusion and fantasy. And because they are such big, bad bullies, right? And they kind of like worm their way into places where they can control things, right? So now they've wormed their way into these positions of said authority or perceived authority in society where they control people, right? And so people are afraid. They're afraid to say, hey, that's not right, or I don't agree with you, or, you know, that's not my perspective on that. Everybody sits quiet because there's this unspoken rule that you will comply or you will DIE, okay? And this person has this level of absolute power within this dynamic, right? And this absolute power within this dynamic is an unspoken level of power, right? It's everybody knows that this person is connected, or, right? They have this level of power and nobody wants to get on this person's bad side. So everybody agrees with whatever this person says. They just go along with it. It doesn't matter how crazy it is. It doesn't matter how off the wall it is. It doesn't matter. They just go along because they're like, we don't want to offend the unspoken rule. We don't want no smoke with this person, right? Because this person has this power to have me ostracized, rejected from the group. They may have the power to get you fired off your job or disliked from this organization and group. And everybody's not willing to walk that path of being rejected. Let's face it, it's not an easy path to walk unless you came here with certain attributes where you just kind of like being in your own energy, right? Everybody's not made that way. Some people really, most human beings love to feel accepted, right? Everybody wants to be accepted and celebrated, but some people, right, law of polarity, some people are higher on the pole of needing that validation, acceptance. It's just their conditioning, right? They may be more extroverted and other people are more introverted. So some people don't really care about being accepted by the group as much. But then there's other people who really, really need that validation and want to be accepted. And you know, these abusers and manipulators really play on that. They play on people's need and desire to be accepted by the group. And so nobody challenges this person. And when you're in a position of perceived absolute power for such a long time, I really truly believe it warps your character, it warps your mindset, and you don't believe that anything you do is wrong. You kind of get to a place where nobody can challenge you. Nobody can say that's not right, or I don't like that, or whatever. Everybody's tiptoeing around this person. And this person begins to slip into a state of, I really believe it's more like a psychosis or a mental illness. And nobody says anything. So everybody sits back and watch this person. I mean, it gets worse and worse with time. I don't know about you guys if you've ever experienced this, but if you've ever dealt with these dynamics, these people get worse with time. And you're sitting back trying not to be offensive. You probably play this group very little. But you see the sickness, you see the psychosis in this person, and everybody sits around like zombies. Nobody says anything. And you're like, this is obviously wrong, what this person is doing. Nobody's going to say anything. And so here we go, being that chosen vessel, the black sheep. Here we go. We're going to say, well, I don't agree with this. Is there anything else we can do? Or here you go, challenging the status quo. And everybody looks at you with this look like, oh no. Don't do it, right? They just kind of got this look on their face. And that said narcissist is like, well, tell us what you think. And you share, and you're thinking that you're just sharing your thoughts and opinions, and everybody can kind of, pitch and catch ideas, and maybe we can fix this situation and have a healthier, group, wherever you may be, whether it's your family or whether it's, a group or whatever, and you're just trying to offer some insight and share your thoughts, right? Which is a healthy thing, family. That's healthy. But what we don't realize is when you challenge the status quo, this unspoken rule of comply, or DIE, okay? You don't realize that you just set yourself up for some big problems with this individual, right? And now many of us already know this, and we're absolutely fine with it. This is why we're here. We're here to speak the truth. We're here to challenge things, and challenge the status quo to a point. But there's other people just not willing to do that, and so these people begin to slip into this psychosis, and absolute power corrupts. It just corrupts people. And, nobody ever challenges that. And you speak up, and then you become public enemy number one. They trash your name. They smear you. People are scared to hang out with you. And they're just like, you become the plague. And I've seen this play out in so many different places. This happens in churches or religious organizations where they have these, we'll just fellowship you if you don't comply with our rules or the unspoken rules. We're going to kick you out. And nobody can speak to you. I've seen that happen to people, and people are not, a lot of people struggle with that. You kick this person out the group, and people can't speak to them anymore. They go out in society and people are shunning them, and telling them that they're bad and horrible people, as if they've never had challenges or made mistakes. And these people play gods in people's life and destroy people's mental health, because everybody's not strong enough to handle such rejection, right? To be devalued and discarded in such a way, and these things are going on in society, family. I don't know if you've ever had these things happen and you've seen where these unspoken rules that's going on in certain places that you go, a lot of places actually, and people are running amok. And because they just, nobody challenges them. Nobody says, hey, that's not right. And I mean, you'd be surprised some of the things that's going on. The children is being abused, animals being abused, groups of people being manipulated and just mistreated because nobody speaks up. Nobody says anything. And so this person begins to slip into this place of perceived absolute power. And they're abusing people. They're abusing animals. They're abusing the children, right? They're doing all kinds of craziness, and it's like nobody says anything, and so many people have suffered at the hands of these abusers and manipulators, but what I want to encourage you to do, family, I want to encourage you to stand in your power, to embrace your individuality. If you find yourself in these groups don't be afraid to walk away. If you can't challenge the narrative and have a voice in these groups and say, hey, here's what I'm thinking, without becoming the outcast, without becoming devalued and discarded, well, then you need to get away from these groups of sick, broken people and maybe create your own group. Go and make your own group of beautiful souls that are not so egotistically fragile that you can't have an opinion. We can all have an opinion here. Feel free to share your thoughts, as long as it's respectful to everybody and, we're not putting each other down or hurting one another. We all should be able to share our thoughts and perspectives and be able to respect people's differences, right? And that's what keeps a group healthy. That's what keeps people, in a healthy space, I believe, the checks and balances, And so y'all let me know what you think. This is just me on my soapbox, my thoughts today. Things I've seen, this unspoken rule of comply, or you're going to go through some absolute horrific experiences. And this has controlled so many people over the years, family. It's destroyed people's mental health. It's destroyed families. It's destroyed people along the way. And I really think that we need to challenge this and begin to, look at these things and say, man, what are we nodding and agreeing to in these groups just to be down and be at the table, What are we doing with these people who have these perceived absolute power trips where they're manipulating people and people are afraid to speak up and have an opinion? People are really afraid to say anything to these people because they're so fragile. You can't say anything to them, and they get so angry. And then you won't even know they're mad until they're behind your back slandering you or trying to turn the group against you and lying on you. They go to such extreme levels when they feel threatened, And so y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Have you ever had this experience in society and in the workforce or in your family dynamic or in any type of group that you've joined where you come across these narcissistic, low vibrational people? And it can really wreak havoc on your mental health if you're not a very strong person or dependent on the Most High. Absolutely. This can be very detrimental to you, So let me know what you guys think of this content today. I truly hope everybody's feeling good out there, taking a good care of yourself, loving on you. All right. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I know tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I'm still planning to upload content. But you guys enjoy the rest of your day. All right. I love you. Mwah.